Now, we have seen how to add these navigation links in the navigation menu in the previous lecture. Now let me show you how you can add this search form in the navigation menu. Using it, you can search for different blog posts in the WordPress theme. So I'm going to just back to my editor and I'm going to just close this header.css file, and in the header.php, I'm going to just create this search form right down here. You can notice we have this search division tag here. I'm going to just get rid of this form tag and add WordPress template tag, which is get search form. So I'm going to just add here a command and put this form tag in the command, just like this. So I'm going to put this form in the command, and just out of that, I'm going to just create here a PHP syntax, and in this PHP syntax, I'm going to call a WordPress template tag, which is get search form. So I'm going to just call this get search form template tag here. Save the changes, back to the website. So when you reload your website, you're going to get this HTML5 search form in the navigation menu. If you want, you can style this predefined search form or create your custom one. So I'm going to create my custom search form here instead of using this predefined search form. To my editor and just grab this form, and what we need, I just need to create a new template file and name that file searchform.php. So using this template tag, I'm going to call that template file. Let me first add here a command, get the searchform.php template file using get search form template tag. So what I'm going to do is, using this get search template form, I'm going to create my custom search form in this searchform.php file. So let me just create this file in the root directory of the project. I'm going to minimize this asset folder, and in the root directory of this project, I'm going to create a new file by clicking on this new file icon, and I'm going to name this file searchform.php and just enter. So this will just create searchform.php file in the root directory of this project. So this get search form template tag will search for this file in the template directory. So once we have this file, I'm going to just copy this form tag and paste it inside this searchform.php file, just like this. Save the changes. Now what we need to convert this static HTML into WordPress dynamic theme. So I'm going to just add here to this form tag, I'm going to add action attribute, and to this action attribute, I'm going to specify PHP syntax. So I'm going to just simply call here PHP syntax, just like this. And in this PHP syntax, I'm going to call echo to print value, and then I'm going to say home_URL. So using this template tag, I want to get the home URL of the website. So this template tag will return the home directory URI to this action attribute. So I'm going to just specify parameter to this template tag, and I'm going to just specify / here. So this will just return the home URI for this action attribute. Now just after that, what we need, I'm going to just specify here value to this input text box. So I'm going to just specify here value, and the value is going to be the get search query. So what I'm going to do is, I just want to specify here a PHP template tag. So I'm going to add here PHP syntax, and in this PHP syntax, I'm going to call echo to print value and just say get search query. So using this get search query template tag, I'm going to get the value from the input text box and return to the WordPress. So we'll get the result back from the WordPress. We need to specify name attribute to this input text box. So just specify name, and it's going to be S. Now keep in mind, you need to add this name attribute as well to get the exact result. Now that's it. Just save all the changes, back to the website, reload it. Now you can see we have the search form here. Now if you want to search for any blog post, you can do that using this search input text box. I'm going to show you how you can search for different blog posts using this search form. We are going to do that later in this course. But just for now, let's see how you can add this banner area for this website. Now, in this lecture, I'm going to show you how you can add this beautiful banner area in the WordPress theme. Along with that, I'm going to add a customizer setting for this WordPress so you can change the banner image, this title, and this description of this banner area whenever you want. So let's see how to do it. So I'm going to just open my editor, and I'm going to just close this search form, and just out of that, In the index.php file, we have this banner area. You can see here. Now what we need to do is, I'm going to just first create a customizer setting and specify that values in this banner section. So I'm going to create a new folder inside this project directory. So I'm going to click on this new folder icon to create a new folder and name that folder templates. And in this template, I'm going to have another folder. I'm going to create a new folder inside these templates and name that folder helpers. And in this helpers, I'm going to have a new file called Customizer Dot Php. So I'm going to say here Customizer Dot Php. Now, according to the separation of concern, I'm going to just create a new setting in the new file. If you want, you can add this customizer setting in the functions.php file as well. But I'm going to separate this code from this file to understand the code clearly. So I'm going to just add here PHP syntax, and inside it, I'm going to add header for this file. This is optional actually. If you don't want to add header, you can leave it as it is. I'm going to add here theme name, and I'm going to specify the name for this template file. I'm going to say WordPress Customizer Settings. So we're going to use this file to add customizer setting in the WordPress theme. Now, before we move on, I just want to explain what is customizer setting. So I'm going to just open my dashboard and just hover over this appearance. When I hover over this appearance, you can notice we have this customizer setting. I'm going to just click on it and open the customizer setting of this WordPress theme. Now when you click on it, this will just open the customizer setting in front of you. Now what I want to add one more setting here so we can change the banner image and change this text whenever we want. So I'm going to just back to my editor. And now to understand how to add customizer setting, you need to first understand what is WP Customizer Control class. So let me explain what is WP Customizer Control class. The WP Customizer Control is a class which you can use to add different customizer settings in the WordPress theme. This class is used to add settings in the theme customize option. For example, let's say you publish your website and you want to change something in your website. Using this customizer setting, you can change the value of the HTML element whenever you want. So we're going to use this WP Customizer class for that. Now what we are going to do is, I'm going to add action hook to add a new feature to the WordPress. So we know that using add action, you can add a new feature to the WordPress theme. So using that add action hook, I'm going to add this WP Customizer Control setting to the WordPress. So I'm going to just create here a function and specify name for this function, fn customizer setting. And in this function, you need to specify different settings for the WordPress theme. But before you move on, you need to specify a parameter for this function. The parameter would be WP Customizer. So using this parameter, I'm going to add different sections in the customizer setting. Using this parameter, we can add different methods to add different settings in the WordPress theme. Now, I'm going to just add here a command and say add a customizer setting. So I'm going to just add here section in the WordPress theme. So I'm going to say here include new section. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just use this parameter to create a customizer setting for this WordPress theme. So I'm going to just use this parameter here and add different methods of this WP Customizer Control class. And I'm going to use that methods to add customizer setting of this banner area. So I'm going to first call here a parameter WP Customizer, and to call a method of this WP Customizer, I'm going to specify dash and specify the greater than operator. This will allow us to call different methods of this WP Customizer Control class. And I'm going to just call add section method here. Now using this add section method, I'm going to add a section in the customizer setting. For example, if I just back to my customizer setting, in this setting I have 4 sections: this site identity, menus, homepage settings, and this additional CSS. So this method allows us to add this section in this customizer setting. So I'm going to use this method to add customizer section in this customizer setting. Now just out of that, I'm going to just call WP Customizer parameter again and call a method add setting. Using this method, you can specify what capability you want to specify to the specific setting. So we are going to use this add setting method to specify capability to the customizer setting. Just out of that, I'm going to just call this parameter again, WP Customizer, and call another method which is add control. Now this method is very useful method because using this method we are going to add a new control in the customizer setting. For example, in this customizer setting, this is my sections. So we have 4 sections in this customizer setting. If I open this site identity, I'm gonna have here different controls. So this is my image control, this is text control, and this is going to be the image control again. So using this option, I can change the value of this HTML site element. So using this add control method, we can add image, different color scheme, and text control in the customizer setting. Now, let me just add here command and just specify here, allow us to add capability to the customizer setting. And I'm gonna specify here and just say add controls in the customizer settings. Now let's start with the first add section method. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify parameter to this add section method. So I'm going to specify first parameter to this add setting. So I'm going to specify header ID to this add section setting. Just out of that, the second parameter is going to be an array, and in this array you need to specify different values to this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify title for this section. So if you just take a look at your customizer setting, the site identity, this menus, this home settings, and this additional CSS is the title of this section. So I'm going to specify this title using a title parameter. So I'm going to say here title in the single quote, and I'm going to specify value to it. So I'm going to specify title for this setting, header settings. And to the second parameter, I'm going to specify text domain. I'm going to specify daily here. And just out of that, I'm going to specify second parameter to specify priority of this setting. Let's add this parameter, priority, and specify value to it. I'm going to specify here 70. Save the changes. And just out of that, let's move to the next method, which is add setting. So as I said, we use this setting to specify capability of the customizer setting. So I'm going to specify parameter to this setting, and I'm going to say here header image. And I'm going to specify array to specify different parameter to this add setting method. Now in this array, I'm going to specify parameter to this add setting method. So I'm going to say here capability, and I'm going to specify default value to it, edit theme options. So as the name implies, this setting is used to change the value of the HTML element. Now just out of that, we have a next method of this WP Customizer control class, which is add control. So as I said, we use this method to add different controls in the settings. So at this time, I'm going to add this control to upload image in the banner section. So I'm going to specify parameter to this add control method. So in the first parameter, you need to call an object of WP Customizer image control. So in the customizer setting, you can notice we have this image control box. Now using this image control, I can upload and change image of the WordPress theme. So I'm going to add this image control using this add control method. So to add this control, you need to call a first parameter. So you need to call here an object of WP Customizer image control. So to create an object, you need to first start with a new keyword, and using this new keyword, I'm going to create an object of WP Customize image control. And in this class, I'm going to specify this parameter, WP Customizer. So the first parameter of this class, I'm going to specify WP Customizer, and in the second parameter, I'm going to specify this capability. So you just need to specify this ID in this second parameter. So I'm going to just specify here header image. And using third parameter, I'm going to specify title for this control. For example, if you just open your site identity section, you can notice here we have this site icon title for this control. You can notice we're also going to have this description for this image control. So you can add this icon and this description using this parameter. So I'm going to just add here an array, and in this array, I'm going to pass label for this control. So I'm going to say here label, and I'm going to specify title to it. So I'm going to say here header image. And if you want, you can specify text domain. I'm going to specify here daily, the name of this template. And just after that, you need to specify section parameter to this WP Customize Image Control class. Just out of this setting, I'm going to add here section parameter. So I'm going to say section, and the value is going to be header. Now, using this section parameter, I'm going to specify I want this control inside this header setting. So this will just create a new section and put this control inside this header setting. Now, once you specify different parameter to these different methods, I need to call this function using the action hook. So just out of this function, down here, I'm going to call add action. And in the first parameter, I'm going to specify customize register. So I'm going to call this hook customize register. And in the second parameter, I'm going to specify the function name, which is fn customizer settings. So I'm going to specify this function name in this second parameter. Save the changes. We just specify all the settings in the separate file. So we need to include this file in the function.php. If you want, you can copy all this code and put that in the functions.php file as well. But I just want to separate this code from the function.php. That is why I created a new file for that and add this code inside it. So I'm going to just call this file in the functions.php. So I'm going to open this file, and at the top, right up here, I'm going to call a command and just say add Customizer Dot php file. So I'm going to call here require once, and using a parameter, I'm going to call this Customizer Dot php file. So I'm going to call templates. I'm going to call this folder templates, then call the helper folders, and inside it, I'm going to have this Customizer Dot php file. Specify semicolon, save the changes. When I reload this website, you can notice in this section, I have my own customizer setting. Let me show you. When I reload this website, as you can see, I have my own customizer setting here, header settings. So we specify this title header settings using this method. So using this add section, I'm going to specify this title for this setting. Just out of that, when you click on it, you can notice we have the title header image and the control to upload image in this website. You can notice here we specify this title using this label parameter. So if I want to explain these methods in the very simple words, then I would say this method is used to add this section in this customizer options. And in this option, I have these input controls. So using these add controls, I can add this image control in this setting. And using this method add setting, I'm going to specify the capability of these settings, right? As simple as that. Now, you know that how you can add the customizer setting in the customize section of the website. So we add this header section to add the banner image of this website. Now we know that using this image control, I can upload my image in this banner section. So once I have the settings in the customizer panel, I want to specify where I want to upload this image in this website. So I'm going to open the index.php file. In the index.php, you know that we have this image in this banner division tag. So I'm going to just get rid of this image tag and specify PHP syntax here. So I'm going to just specify here command, just like this. I'm going to put this image tag in the command. So the HTML will ignore this code, and I'm going to add here PHP syntax, and inside it, I'm going to call if get theme mode. I'm going to call a template tag get theme mode, and I'm going to specify parameter to it. I'm going to say header image. So using this get theme mode template tag, I'm going to just retrieve the theme modification value for the current theme. So this template tag used to just get the customizer setting value in this section. I'm going to just specify colon here, and just out of this PHP syntax right down here, I'm going to call image tag. So I'm going to copy this image, paste it down here, and just out of that, just out of this image, I'm going to call PHP syntax again and just end this if statement. So I'm going to say here and if. Now what I want to change this static source and specify my own setting here. So I'm going to get rid of this source attribute, and in this source attribute I'm going to specify PHP syntax. So I'm going to call here PHP syntax, and in the PHP syntax I'm going to call echo to print the path of the image, and then I'm going to call a function escape URL. Now without this template tag you can specify the value for the source attribute, but using it, it's always a best practice to specify the clean URL to the source attribute. So using this template tag, I'm going to specify the clean URL for this source attribute. So in this template tag, I'm going to call get theme mode. I'm going to call a template tag get theme mode, and in the parentheses in the single quote, I'm going to specify header image. Now if you just take a look at this parameter, you can notice we specify this parameter to this add settings section. So we use this ID in this get theme mode parameter. So using this parameter, I want to just call a value of this customizer setting. So when you specify image using this input control, I'm going to get that image path in this source attribute. I'm going to save all the changes, back to the website and reload it. Let me just specify a background image for this banner section. So I'm going to click on this header settings and specify my image using this image control. So I'm going to click on this select image, and I'm going to upload a new image in this website, and I'm going to select this banner image and click on this open button, and I'm going to just choose this image by clicking on this choose image button. When I click on it, you can notice I have the banner image to this website. Now just out of that, just click on this publish button to save all the changes, back to the settings and reload your website. When you reload your website, you can notice you have the banner image here. Now I'm going to just remove this background color from the body section. So I'm going to just back to my style.css and remove this background color from this body section. Save the changes, back to the website and reload it. So when I reload it, you can notice I have the banner image to this website. If you want, you can change this banner image using this setting. That's upon you. You can remove this banner image using this remove button, and you can change this banner image using this change image button. That's upon you. In the next lecture, I'm going to show you how you can create the customizer setting for this title text of this banner section and for this description. So I will see you in the next one.